Never seen a lame man walk, never heard a dumb man talk, never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a canceled debt, never seen all the poor get fed, never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name. Broken heart made whole. Never seen an orphan find a home. Never seen a.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? It's time for the podcast. It's the Big C and the Bigger T podcast. Our weekly podcast where two old longtime friends get together and talk Razorbacks or whatever else that comes up, because hey, you never know with us. You never know. I'm Travis Johnson. I'm always here with my man, the man with the plan, leather tan, Steely Dan. Call him the man you want to stand for. Clint Shannon Clark. How you doing, buddy?
I'm thinking I may eat some flan.
There you go.
I don't know.
As well. Are you going to eat it out of a pan?
Out of a pan.
With a guy named Stan?
Yes, I can, with my friend Stan.
Yeah, that's
what did we just do? I have no idea what just happened.
No
I'm confused. I'm lost.
Yeah.
Gabe did text me that he's a little spicy that he didn't get the super fan award or something like that we acknowledge him.
Well, listen.
I'm pretty sure I made fun of you at the end of the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, what more does he want? I mean, he got mentioned on a.
Yeah. I mean, I've got that no contact order still, but that's neither here nor there.
Listen, this podcast, Clint, let's let everybody remember.
Yeah.
Has been watched by the Paul Feinbaum.
Paul Feinbaum.
And he possibly said, this is how I heard Mike tell it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably going to watch it as you premiere it. So
he's right. Yeah. He's probably got notice set up on his phone where it'll come out, as he's getting ready in the morning.
I'm pretty sure after you told that story, I saw it go up a couple of subscribers. So it's probably him and Marty.
That's right. They're probably like, hey, this is that one that guy Mike told us about, man. This is awesome. On the way to the SEC championship, or that was the Alabama Auburn.
Going to the Alabama game.
Yeah, that's the one Mike went to. So yeah. Well, man, how you been doing, Clint? You had a good week?
Man, I've had a great week, man. I can't complain at all. Just you think it can't get better, and it just gets better. And then you lose to Oklahoma by 27, and you come right back.
We'll save that for later. Yeah.
Woo.
That was
it was bad.
Woo. But okay. Well, I'll save that for later. I'll save it for later. All right. So Clint, we got, there's something we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't really talked about this off there a lot, just a little bit, but we want to just, we're doing our planning right now, right? We asked people to give us feedback, a couple weeks ago. One of the reasons we started this podcast is we wanted to challenge ourselves, do something different or whatever. But originally the conversation was about trying stand-up comedy. You and I are both big fans of stand-up comedy.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely love it.
We've always, loved it and listened to different guys and have different people we look up to in that realm. And so we've always wanted to try it, maybe at one of those open mic nights or whatever. Clint, I hadn't gotten much feedback from people.
See, I'd actually got a text.
Did you? Okay.
I mean, we've heard from Robert, said give it a try.
Yeah.
Adam said try it. Gabe tried it. We talk to them guys all the time. I want to hear from like people I don't hear from. Like, you want me to try it?
That's right.
I mean, because I mean, I mean, the idea is intriguing to me because I think I'm funny. I think I'm hilarious. My mom said I am handsome. I'm oddly shaped. I've got there's a lot to laugh at about me. So
that's right.
Not just my haha jokes, even though my haha jokes are hilarious.
Well, I laugh at them. I laugh at your haha jokes.
Oh yeah, well,
You're always going to make me laugh at them. So, you know, we it's something we've always wanted to try, but we want to know if, you know, look, that can be a scary thing.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of scary to think about doing. And so we want to know if people really think we should try, you know.
Yeah.
So we need feedback, folks. Give us feedback. Give us comments. Tweet us. Comment on Facebook. Comment on YouTube. Comment on Spotify. Wherever you listen to this, wherever you pay attention to it. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook.
Twitter, Reddit.
That's all we know how to use. We're old guys. We don't do the TikToks.
Hey, y'all, Travis still got one of them farmers only.
Yeah. Lady,
you ain't gotta be lonely.
If you got most of your teeth, holla at your boy.
Yeah. Meet him by the nacho cart.
And you can drive a tractor. Not that I have a tractor, but yeah, that's still a good skill to have.
And we mentioned him at the end of the podcast last week, but big shout out to Joey Powell. He was nervous. He wanted to try stand up. Man, you got us talking about it again. So we may still not do it because, you know, scheduling conflicts and such. Yeah. But you got us talking about it again. And thank you, my friend, Timothy. Because, man, it takes guts to go out there and be the center of attention. Yeah. You know, if you stink up the joint, everybody's looking at you. And I do it weekly here on this podcast. I come stink up the joint. And
you know, Clint, I sort of practice it every week because I get up and preach every week. And you know, of course, being a preacher, you got to throw a haha joke in there, you know, sometimes, and you got to be able to tell some funny stories every now and then. Because when you make people laugh, it helps them remember stuff sometimes, you know. So, but it's a different ball game doing, you know, just telling the haha stuff. You know, what I do is I tell something, but I got a point to it. I'm trying to get a point across. But you know, you're up there just you're not trying to necessarily get a point across, but you're trying to get the funny going, but then keep it so it flows all together too. You know, you're still trying to keep a storyline going, but you got to hit on everything. And people like Dave Chappelle, and I mean, of course, he's the GOAT right now. I mean, there's none better. But you know, Jim Gaffigan and
Gaffigan coming.
Tom Segura, all those people, man.
I love Tom Segura. You know, Tom Segura, he's good at just telling stories, and you know, my cousin, we'll get into that, but he led a church group for a while. But we told the story from her childhood, and this story made me think, and I wanted, and you can apply this to your own life. So we were out in my backyard, and we got a piece of rebar, and we busted through this concrete thing, and we stuck it down in there, the rebar down in there. We pulled up black stuff. We thought we'd struck oil, so we were, you know, we doing it, and we'd pull it up. We had busted through the septic tank.
Hey, I know some plumbers. That's black gold right there, buddy.
So Tom Clark was less than thrilled with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think you struck gold, and what you've really found was just a bunch of crap.
That's right.
So there's your metaphor for the day.
That's right. Hey, but I know some plumbers, baby. They're happy because you got to call them, and they're going to get a few dollars for just coming to see you.
You know Tom pretty well. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh, he was fired up. Yeah.
Can you imagine how mad he was?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He was red.
He was hot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Clint. So what is our holy Snikes moment for the week? You got a good one this week.
Or boy, Dalton Wagner.
Dalton Wagner.
Right tackle.
What's he about? He's a good sized fella. What's he
good
about?
sized fella.
6'9",
locks.
6'9", 330, something like that.
Apparently, he looks good in tights because he has got an NIL deal with WWE.
The WWE.
Yeah. Well, you know, WWE actually started their NILs with Gable Stevenson, the college wrestler from Minnesota that won the gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
They started with them, and so it's not anything new. I'm actually pulling up on my phone because I didn't want to come prepared. Here's what Dalton Wagner gets with this NIL deal.
Yeah.
All athlete partnerships will feature access to the state-of-the-art WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, in addition to resources across the organization, including brand building, media training, communications, live event promotion, creative writing, and community relations. Upon completion of the NIL program, select student athletes may earn an exclusive opportunity to be offered a WWE contract.
So he's going to kind of get the training to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
without the total commitment to
what they're
just to kind of see what it's like.
Now, as somebody like me who I've dabbled in professional wrestling on a small scale, but when you get to the big leagues, when you get to WWE, it's about your character, it's about your persona. So what it seems to me like they're kind of doing is we're going to go ahead and work a little bit on that persona stuff, the stuff we can work at, you know, out there and see how marketable you are and stuff like that. So I think they're going to work on a little bit of the personality stuff and handling the media. And then like, hey, let's see how they do at that. If they do good and they press them on that, then they'll bring them in because they're athletes. And it wasn't just Dalton Wagner. There were several.
Yeah, there's several.
I think there are two other SEC. I know a lineman at LSU, I do believe.
Yeah.
They have the twin basketball players, I believe, from Fresno State. So they signed several, but it's just it's cool. And you know, and it kind of transition. You know, the NIL is changing the game because here's my source for what I'm about to say. Some guy called in to Tommy Smith's morning show and said, there's my source. Yeah. But they said like Catalon's weighing his NIL deals about going pro. So, you know, the NIL is kind of changing the game because number one, the illusion that these guys are amateur athletes is gone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gone. They're out there to put as much cash in they can in their pockets. And they will sling any product that you will throw at them.
Yeah.
But they said Catalan's looking at his NIL deals. So that's what I was kind of talking to you off the air a little bit about, was that now you look at you like if you're okay, I'm going to turn pro. I'll be like a 6th, 7th round pick, 5th round. I'm maybe not even drafted at all. Mm-hmm. It becomes worth it to me to come back and see if I can improve my stock, if I can pocket a good chunk of NIL deals. It's changed. Mm-hmm. In that way, I think you're gonna see less than these kids that are like, man, he shouldn't have left early. He should have came back for one more year. Your Alex Collins, Denver Kirklands, guys like that. Now, obviously, you have your Treylon Burks, and we'll talk more about Treylon Burks in a minute. But them guys are still going to go. Your surefire first rounders, they're going to go. If you got a 2nd, 3rd round grade, you're probably going to go. But if you're looking towards the back, I think it's going to incentivize you to come back, get that NIL money. You're going to get some income.
Well, and I think that's perfect for a guy like Catalan because, you know, Catalan's the type of guy that when you put on the game film and you put on, you know, you just watch him, he shows out, right? He shows what a stud player he is. But when he goes to the combine, he's probably not going to run that great of a 40 compared to a lot of the other safeties. Right. I may be wrong, but he doesn't seem as fleet of foot as a lot of the other guys. He's probably not going to be the workout monster that a lot of the other safeties are going to be. You know, he's kind of small compared to a lot of pro safeties. You know, he's under 200 pounds, and a lot of them get up a little bit more. you know, and so he's not the type that the combine's going to make his draft stock go up. So, like you said, he can have some secure NIL money, you know, if he can get up to, you know, hey, here in Arkansas, if he has a few gigs, you know, I don't know what he's getting this year, but you know, he might could get up, you know, close to 100,000 or so.
I know, you know, he had the daily go with a weekly call into the Buzz. I know.
Yeah. And, you know, whatever that is, I'm sure it's not a ton of money, but
I mean, you got to assume that if Fouché doesn't come back, the seed would probably be on him and Bumper Pool if Bumper Pool comes back next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Offense. And then, you know,
and a lot of people are thinking he's going to. And a lot of people are thinking Catalan's going to.
I mean, that'd be huge. I mean, that's just, but I mean, who knows? I mean, it's his decision to make.
But you're right. That has changed the thoughts of a player like Catalan or like a lot of others we've seen at Arkansas, you know, that are those mid-level, you know, got to go prove themselves, you know, a Dre Greenlaw, you know, of course he proved himself when he got there, but you know, some of those guys that, you know, could have left early or could not, you know, they may stay around a little longer because they can make a little money doing what they're doing here. So, and you know, something we haven't thought about too, or we hadn't talked about when it comes to basketball, you know, it may keep a player staying in college instead of going overseas.
Yeah.
You know, going ahead and, you know, declaring for the draft, even if they're, you know, questionable to be drafted. But, you know, they could always go overseas. Well, if I can make some more, you know, make some NIL money here, then why not just stay here, stay in college, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely changed it. It's changed the game.
I mean, and that's ways you didn't think about it changing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about like your Bryce Young getting close to $1 million without taking a snap. You don't think about, hey, that may have kept Scotty Thurman in college for another year.
Yeah.
It would have followed Corliss to the NBA, you know, really tempted the NBA. I mean, you don't know. But on the other side of it, we talked about how that, you know, your first rounders are still going to go, you know, it's no longer an amateur, you know, program. And now you got Treylon Burks opting out of the bowl game, which this really, the first guy I really ever remember doing it was Sean Andrews. And he said they had a health issue with some polyps in his nose.
Yeah.
It looked bad.
Yeah.
It looked bad. And then it was a real uncommon thing. And now it's more and more common, especially when you have nothing to play for. And it seems like the overwhelming feeling is no one blames Burks.
Well, you know, and here's the deal. Okay. We talked about this a little bit last week. I believe that, I may be thinking of what we talked about off there too, but you know, Burks is the type that when he goes to the combine, I personally think his draft status is going to rocket. He's going to go from the 5th best receiver to one of the top 3, I think, at the combine.
Yeah.
Because he's going to put up good numbers. He's going to run fast. He's going to be able to bench press a lot. He's going to catch. And like I talked about, I think I did talk about last week, they're going to love his hands, right? All that's going to happen. He's going to go from maybe in the first round to definitely first round when he goes to the combine. You know, I believe that with all my heart. So you got to think with a guy like him who's been beat up all year, you know, once again, we talked about this some last week, you know, it makes sense. Now, our boy, the pirate from over at Mississippi State, RMT, Mike Leach, shared his wisdom on this opted out thing.
And I have the full quote pulled up.
Read the quote to us, Clint.
Somebody says, well, I can't play one more game. They think they're going to have this storied 10-year NFL career, and then they can't play one more college game. Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, guys will go to the NFL, they'll make the Pro Bowl, and then they'll play in the Pro Bowl. But do they really play in the Pro Bowl, though? It's one of the biggest absurdities that I've seen, and it's selfish, too. I'm going to agree with him on the last statement. It is selfish.
Yeah.
But these guys are there because these guys are making money now. So now they're going to go where the money is. Now this isn't a new issue. And I know like Felipe Franks, they were talking, he's like, man, why wouldn't I play one more game?
Yeah.
With Burks, I think Burks is just beat up bad.
Yeah.
And I heard he needs knee surgery, and now, probably just clean the scope, clean it up. But
yeah.
So Leach has a point. Had a point. He's not wrong. I mean, here's the thing. There's two sides and they're both right. It is selfish.
Yeah.
But it's also, you need to look out for yourself.
Well, and here's the other thing, Clint, and this is, I think a wave that I don't hear many people saying, because everybody's loving playoffs. And they're wanting more teams. They're wanting the 12-team playoff. Right?
Yeah.
Well, look, whether right or wrong, a byproduct of getting a playoff is the bowl games don't matter as much as they used to. Look, I love the fact that the national champion, I'm not saying anything against the playoff, okay? I prefer the BCS model. I like the 1 and 2. Let them play. That way the bowls mean a little bit more, but not the bowls don't mean as much as they did back when, say, Arkansas won the national championship in '64. Because you may not even play 1 and 2 didn't play each other, and it depended on how you did in those bowl games, okay? Now that was crazy too, because you're dependent on people voting.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's settled on the field. But the truth of the matter is, when you take the importance off those bowl games, they become the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. They become a game that's just there for you. It's all about going to the beach. It's all about getting the swag. It's not about who cares. It's who cares if I win or not. It doesn't matter. If you're a senior, if you're Treylon Burks, I mean, I'm not saying this is what he's thinking, because he loves the Hogs, okay? But for a lot of seniors, it's like, oh, well, we get an Outback Road trophy to put in the trophy case. Who cares? I'm about to go make millions of dollars. It doesn't matter. Of course, at least with the Pro Bowl, you get, if you get voted to the Pro Bowl, you sometimes in your contract, you get a little extra cash. It doesn't matter. Going to a bowl game doesn't matter for that player. Yeah. For the coach, it does. So we're going to see more and more of this, because the bowl games don't mean as much.
And I talked about, one of the ideas, topics that we floated out there is how do you fix it? I mean, because with Treylon Burks, I just think he's just beat up and it's hurt, and it needed, and he pushed it as far as he can. But outside Burks, who I just think it's a different circumstance. He's hurt.
Yeah.
How do you fix it? It's an issue.
I can tell you how you fix it. Give a cash prize to the winner.
Yeah.
To the players.
Yeah.
If you win, a couple $1,000 a player.
Yeah.
Hey.
Go straight to XFL, winning team gets 5 G's and the losing team gets a G.
Seriously. You
get a gift card to Best Buy.
That's what we're making it college sports about anyway, right? Give a cash prize. That's what they do. That's what they do in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. That's what they say. They say the Pro Bowl that, the winning team gets more and the losing team gets less. And so like the fourth quarter, a football game actually breaks out.
Yeah, that's right.
A little fight up to the fourth quarter. They're like, all right.
Yeah. But no, seriously, I think that's the only way you fix it is you pump money into it, but the problem is you can't even, look, Clint, Duke mayonnaise is promoting a bowl.
Yeah.
Duke mayonnaise.
Jimmy Kimmel has his own bowl.
Yeah. Oh, that's special.
Dude, I remember the Poulon Weed Eater Bowl. You remember the Poulon Weed Eater Bowl?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bonnet Bowl, the CarQuest Bowl.
Yeah. There.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah, it's crazy, but that's the thing. These bowls, these players, we're gonna keep seeing them opt out. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because a lot of this bowl, and that's the way I feel about everybody complains about the Pro Bowl and the All-Star game and all that stuff. Look, that's a reward for the players, right? And now the bowl games are a reward for the players. But it's also a chance for you to get some practice for some younger guys.
Yeah.
Yes, Burks is going to sit out. But you know what? Some of those younger receivers are going to get some reps and practice that Burks was going to get. Some of those, KJ Jefferson's going to have to try to find somebody else to throw to. Now, some of those people are going to be other seniors that, Tyson Morris is going to be gone, some others, but you never know. We may see what the future holds for Knox and Jefferson.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of people that said at the beginning of the year that Keitron Jackson was already the second best wide receiver on campus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't really do that much. I mean, you saw Warren Thompson. I'd say, honestly, if you said, pick the number 2 wide receiver, I said Warren Thompson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Followed by Morris,
I think statistically Morris is, but yeah, you're probably, Thompson looked probably.
They're definitely 2 and 3. So we got that 5-star coming in next year.
I'd totally forgotten that who Morris's dad was.
Oh, who's his dad?
Isaiah Butch Morris. That played with. He was a power forward with Big O, Lee Mayberry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, it's. I knew that when he first came in because I was excited because I loved Butch Morris, and he was a hard-nosed, tough rebounder, tough player. But so I remember that, but I'd forgotten it because it was like when Morris first came in. I'm like, man, we got Butch Morris's son. That dude's gonna be bad to the bone, and he's pretty good. But anyway, sorry for those of y'all that don't remember Isaiah Butch Morris. Look him up on the YouTubes.
Yeah,
look up Mayday. That's a good basketball right there, man. So good basketball. Well, Clint, also, we talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
Did we talk about last week? Had it already hit about Pittman?
Well, not the details, the agent change. Yeah, we did hit on and we all wanted Pittman to be different, and Pittman is different.
Yeah,
he's not that different.
No,
he's not that different. His all shucks country boy routine goes only so far.
Yeah, all shucks went big fly.
Yeah.
All right. In the SEC West, Nick Saban makes $9,750,500. Anyway, a lot. He makes almost
basically rounded up to 10 mil.
Brian Kelly just signed for 9.5. Jimbo Fisher makes 7.5. Brian Harsin makes 5. Mike Leach makes 5. Lane Kiffin makes 4.8, which the rumor is that he's Sexton's his agent.
Yeah, he's bumping up to 7.5.
He's bumping up to 7.5. Yeah. Sam Pittman 2.925. Now don't forget Pittman's got some incentives in there that bump that up to. I think this year he made 3.5 or so.
Yeah, 3.75. He maxed it out. He got almost 4 mil.
Yeah. So where do you think Clint he belongs in that? Where do you think if you're a check?
Yeah.
Where do you think he belongs in that list of SEC West coaches?
I think he needs to be making $6 million a season. That's what he deserves to be paid. You got to think about it. Lane Kiffin, this is his first full year as the head coach at Ole Miss. Everybody's excited. They're going to New Year's Six Bowl. I get that. The year that Matt Luke got fired, they went 6-6, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And so Lane Kiffin got them to what, 10 wins this year? So he improved them by 4 wins.
Yeah.
So you look at Sam Pittman making $3 million a season. They were 2-10.
Yeah.
2-10. His first year, he's improved them 6 wins. He doubled his predecessor's win total in his first full season.
Yeah.
Doubled for 2 years. Yeah. Arkansas was the laughing stock of college football.
Yeah.
We got the brakes beat off us by Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Lost to North Texas. Barely beat a Portland State FCS team.
Yeah.
And you had Chad Morris going, I'll never apologize for a win. You beat Portland State by 7.
Yeah.
He's brought respect back to the program, and Sam Pittman knows his worth.
Yeah.
And I watched his press conference, and it was obvious. It was pretty obvious he did not have faith in his current agent to negotiate a contract.
Yeah.
And that's the way it came across. Whether that's true or not, that's the way I took it. Have you watched it?
Which one is it?
Well,
recent?
He did. Yeah, it was right after, I guess it came out. He said, look, you just don't take what they offer you. You negotiate. It's called negotiation.
Yeah.
He goes, and I'm hiring somebody to negotiate.
Yeah. Yeah, I did watch that. No, and I agree with him. Look, I love listening to people call into the sports talk shows because they call in. Like there was a guy calling in today. Well, he said he loves being the coach at Arkansas. He loves Arkansas, and that's his dream job. Well, if it's your dream job, then you're going to take whatever they'll give you to do it. Come on, man. Come on. Would you do that? Would you, if you work construction, that's your dream job to build houses or whatever. Are you gonna take, well, I don't need to make near as much money to do it. No, man, you're gonna get in there and get the best dollar you can get, No. And so that, to me, that's dumb. Okay.
Well,
I also think here's the other thing. Here's the business side. Hunter Yurachek, look at it. Okay. He's asking right now for 7.5 a year. Correct. That's what
7 years, 50 million.
Yeah. That's what Wally Hall put out today, I believe.
Saturday Down South reported that, I believe, yesterday. That's where I got.
So that's what he's asking for. We have to remember, okay. Now he's good on him. He's trying to strike while the fire's hot. Don't blame him, okay. But now if I'm Hunter Yurachek and I'm sitting down negotiating, I'm like, okay, you did this with a special group of super seniors in a COVID year where, other schools had people coming back, but I'm not sure they had people coming back like a Grant Morgan, with the leadership on the field, like we had with Hayden Henry, with some of the different ones we had, right? And so, and also the fear is, okay, in the back of my head, I don't think this is true. I'm not saying this is the way it is, but the fear is when we hired him, we compared him to Ed Orgeron, right? The coach that loves the school and his dream job, hired him the best assistants. Those assistants left. All of a sudden, things weren't as good for Orgeron, right?
Right.
The question is, what's he going to do when these assistants leave?
You never know. I mean, you don't
know. And he may do, and I think he's going to do awesome, Clint, because I think he's a great leader. And I think whoever he has there is going to be great. Okay. So I really, but I'm just trying to say, if I'm under Juracek and I'm negotiating with Jimmy Sexton, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's proven some things, but let's not get it twisted. There's still some things he hasn't proven yet. Okay. There's still some questions on how good of a coach he really is. Is he just a figurehead and his assistants are that good? Or is he really the man that's doing all this? I think he's the man that's doing all this, personally.
Yeah, this team was special, in seeing like a player like Grant Morgan win the Burlsworth Award was really special.
Yeah.
That you had two guys like Burlsworth and Grant Morgan in a lifetime.
That's
special of a player. But Pittman seems to get it. He really does. And I think he doesn't get in the way. He doesn't meddle. But I think he's going to let his coaches coach, and he knows when to rein them in.
Yeah.
I think Pittman really knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's doing when it comes to contract negotiations. He knows what he knows what he's doing. And so he gets it, but I mean, that's just what he's saying.
And like he said, this could be his last job.
Yeah.
This could be his last contract.
Yeah. Yeah. I think last week he's 60 years old. He's 60.
Yeah. I mean, if let's say in 2 years, things aren't going good, he needs to be secure. I mean, I know he's made a ton, but he's only gotten head coaching money for so long, for a couple years, and it was some of the lowest in the SEC. So I say good on him. Go for it.
Yeah.
It kind of stinks, I mean, part of me thinks, man, and like I said last week, the main reason it stinks is because it's Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah.
If it was another guy, it's just Jimmy's, he loves the drama. He loves it. And I hate drama. I'd prefer him go in there, be hard nosed, negotiate. Now, Pittman did also say part of the reason he got an agent was so he can make sure that his assistants are taken care of too.
Well, I'm sure that goes into the negotiation where, we're talking about he didn't, did you get the same thing I did? That he didn't really have faith in negotiation of his previous agent, but anyway.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, I read too much into stuff sometimes. At least that's what I got told in court. So, joking. Now I totally lost my train of thought. Thanks, Travis. No, what I'm saying is that's part of the negotiation process where maybe he felt more comfortable with Jimmy Sexton. He can negotiate the salary pool for his assistants.
Yeah.
But I mean, we already got two of the highest paid coordinators out there.
Speaking of which, have you heard that the rumor today is Bryles is a name that's coming up for the new OC for Miami. I don't know why you'd leave an SEC school for Miami right now.
But
they say they're going after him pretty hot and heavy though. So
I think I saw that he was bringing some good defensive coordinator in.
Yeah.
There's another offensive coordinator I thought I saw attached to that, but I can't remember who it is.
And there may be.
I heard Joe Brady's going there.
Oh, really?
That's the name I heard going to Miami.
We'll see what, Brady was a failure in the pros, or at least Hillman. Hillman, what's his name, working together was a failure. The old Baylor coach. Of course, that was two offensive guys, and that sometimes doesn't work real well. Well, Clint, you hit on it earlier. This week, our basketball team was undefeated. They went over to Tulsa. And I got the feeling from Musselman's, press conferences beforehand, I think he thought they were going to have a tough time with Oklahoma. I think he knew that was going to be a tough game. Because if you watch some of his press conferences before they went, he was kind of setting them up to fall. And fall they did.
And I felt like with this team, I want to bring up, they remind me of the Oklahoma Sooners in football.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had this good ranking, but boy, they just ain't passing. They ain't passing the eye test.
Yeah.
Not passing that, and all season long. It's like, yeah, we're winning. I appreciate us winning, but we're not passing the eye test. They don't. And they haven't. They haven't. And then Oklahoma, they jump up. They play a good team, and they jump up and they win.
Yeah.
That we kind of did the same thing against Cincinnati and Kansas State. And now here we go. We play a really talented Oklahoma team, and they beat us bad.
Yeah. Well, and our 3-point shooting is not great, but it doesn't help that Note's having a hard time, man. But he's playing such good defense right now.
Yeah.
Except for guarding the three. I say that in one breath. I catch myself because I say he's playing good defense, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, but our 3-point defense is horrendous.
Well, some of that's guard shooting over Chris Locks.
Yeah, that's true.
5'5", but
yeah,
it just they haven't looked good, and you keep saying, okay, we're waiting on him to jail, we're waiting on him to jail, and I'm concerned. I'm
concerned, but I do think they are going to jail because this is still early in the season, man.
Yeah,
we haven't started SEC play. We're not, we're not even a few games into SEC play. It's going to take a few games into SEC play before we start really gelling, I think.
Yeah,
that's what it's done in the past. And by the way, even though we had a bad game, someone that didn't have a bad game was Devo Davis.
Yeah, Devo finally woke up.
Devo is playing, okay, and he's doing whatever it takes. Now, Clint, did you watch the game?
I was at work, so
okay.
I caught glimpses.
Well, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched some of it. Did you see the video of Musselman getting tossed?
Yeah, I know. I don't know if he's that small or if Ronnie Burr Jr. is that big.
Oh my gosh, Clint! He's like
he's an angry elf.
It's like a little kid trying to beat up you. You know what I mean? Like, look, he's a little guy.
Like he's so angry.
I mean, he's angry. Like, what's he gonna do to that ref? I mean, let's go stand man, or was it Van Gundy that like grabbed that guy?
Yeah, he was holding on to
by his knee or whatever.
Like Alonzo Mourning's leg.
Yeah. I mean, it was so funny, man. He's like a chihuahua. He was
fired up though.
He was, man. And people are like, well, that was embarrassing. Come on. Look, his team's playing horrible. There was some bad calls. He didn't know what to do. So he's like, well, let me try to fire him up. I'll just get ticked off and get thrown out. So that's what he did, Coaches do that sometimes. He said something that ref didn't want to hear. Oh, well, it gave the assistant coach Mosley, the regular assistant that was out sick. So the other Mosler or whatever, even though he's not related to Porter Mosler, they have the same last name. Clay Mosler or whatever. He ended up coaching the rest of it. But anyway, that was to me, that was just funny. That was Musselman. It was more funny than it was sad.
And you're going to have one of them games where you just get the crap kicked out of you at some point. But like
especially
I said,
in basketball.
The unsettling thing is they just haven't passed the eye test all year. And hopefully they figure it out. But they haven't looked that great. And they fell, I believe, to number 24 in the poll.
Yeah.
A pretty good drop. But they haven't looked very good.
They're going to come around, though, I think. I really do. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be Elite Eight again, but they're going to end up being a tournament team, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe not a high seed. That's okay. We'll see what they do in the SEC. We'll see how the rest of the SEC is. I haven't paid a lot of attention yet on how the rest of the SEC is, but you know, we'll see what happens. I think we're still got some things we're going to see from some other players that'll make a difference in this year. You know, there's still, but one thing we're going to have to find is some shooting. We got to get some shooting.
What this team doesn't have, the last year's team has, and it's going to sound silly saying this, they don't have Moses Moody.
That's right.
Who's someone that we're going to focus on. We got a key on in this guy, and it let guys like Devo beat him.
Yeah.
Justin Smith. Because Texas Tech, they went out there and they said, we're going to shut down, because Trey Day's great friends with Chris Beard. He goes, we are going to shut down Moses Moody. We don't care.
Yeah.
Somebody, like, anybody's going to beat us but Moses Moody. And they just got to figure out, you know, you'd hope that transfer from South Dakota would have, you know, kind of made up for that, or Devo step up.
Yeah.
Maybe Devo is about to step up. Maybe the Oklahoma game was, like you said, a good sign.
Yeah. Well, Clint, man, that's about it for this week. We got anything else we need to cover?
No, I think we crushed it all.
We crushed it all.
All of it.
Man,
all the world's problems were settled right here tonight.
We solved them all, man.
Solved every
I got one question for you. We got a little time. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We hadn't asked this in a while.
Sure.
What are you watching?
Ooh, you know, I've been watching the new season of Dexter.
Yeah.
Dexter New Blood, that's really good. It's like a reboot of Dexter.
Yeah.
And because I had to pay for Showtime, so they've done this new show called Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Now this one's wild. It's kind of in the vein of Alone. It's like this elite soccer team. They crash in like the middle of the Arctic, like the Canadian, I almost said Canadian rainforest. I know that ain't right, but let's go with it. So they're in the middle of the Canadian rainforest.
Yeah.
And they're like, basically one chick smashes the responder box. They have no idea where they are. No, they fast forwarded to, you know, them, they're like dressed in like elk horns and look like with like animal skins and look really weird. And then they also fast forward. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really confused, but it's pretty good. And I'm sure that was a horrible job of explaining what the show is, but check out.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I don't either.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking it was about, you said soccer. You lost me at soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see. No, wasn't there a soccer team that like get caught in a mine or something? I don't know. Anyway. All right. Well, here I've been watching Hawkeye.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
Man, it's good. It's really good. I mean, it's not, it's kind of, it started out really good, and it's kind of a slower pace than I'd want the rest of the time, you know, compared to some of the other Marvel stuff, but it's really good. And I'm a big Survivor fan. Okay.
Yeah,
and I've been watching Australian Survivor. Okay. Australian Survivor. It's kind of interesting because they use the same, they go to Fiji, just like, you know, the new Survivor, you know, the American Survivor has moved to, you know, they pretty much do Fiji every year because it's just, it's beautiful scenery. And I guess they're just, it's cheaper to Fiji. I don't think charges so much to shoot there or whatever. And so Australian Survivor does it there too. And so they're, you know, they're using some of the same places that the American. So if you've watched the American one, you're seeing some of the same games and some of the same stuff, whatever. But anyway, and then, but the people, man, are so much nicer. Like in the American Survivor, someone gets voted out, you know, there's like, you know, there's bleeps and stuff like that, you know, they're editing stuff out, and there's, you know, people making hand gestures back and stuff.
No, you're
well, like an Australian Survivor, they're like, oh, you got me. Oh no, yeah. You blindsided me, didn't you? I think that was Irish. I don't know.
But you know, speaking of that, me and you both have an obsession.
Yeah.
Two people, 45 years old. And I know I've got a couple friends. My Jumbo loves it.
Yeah.
Got a friend, Mo. She loves it. I talked to several other people. They love it. MTV The Challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right. They have guys come over from like these Survivor shows, and they're the nicest guys in the world.
Yeah. The
Guys from Big Brother in America, they're a bunch of jerks.
They are. I know. And they're like the American ones get mad about the stupidest stuff, you know? I mean, like you're on a game show where you got to vote people out if you want to win. And then you get mad because you get voted out. That's how you win, you know?
Yeah.
And then, but like, I'm serious. Like the last episode I watched yesterday was, or maybe Saturday. This girl that it was an all-star, okay, season. So apparently I hadn't watched the first season of it, but apparently the first season, this one girl blindsided this other girl, right? And so now they're on the same kind of tribe again. And this girl got her back. And then like she seriously, like after the votes came up, like she had no idea she was being voted out, that night. And then the votes came out and she looked at that girl, and that girl was just over there smiling, the one that got her voted out. And she goes, "Oh, you did good. You got me." And I'm like, man, if that was America, she would be calling her every other day. See, like, and it once again proves this, Clint.
Yeah.
Foreigners are just friendly.
They are.
They are. I don't know. That sounds so redneck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Foreigners.
Foreigners, they all.
Yeah.
It's well felt.
People like us in America are just the rudest people. And people in other countries. And I found that, well, I don't know. I've been to the Paris airport. They're kind of jerks there. Just going to say that. But other places, though, like you go to, like, you go into like Mexico, man, people invite you in. Philippines, man, they'll invite you in, feed you. Man, it's awesome.
Well, I've been out of the country exactly one time, and that was on my first honeymoon.
Yeah.
So I was
down to Mexico.
Yeah, I went down to Cancun.
Cancun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been out several times, and people there's some places where people, it's like everywhere, but they're a lot of times very friendly when they find out you're American, because everybody has a, in a lot of other countries, there's a, most countries, or the ones I've been to anyway, there's kind of a respect for America. And they have questions about it. They want to know, what's this like in America? What's that like?
Dad, do they ask about the big water parks?
No, they don't ask about that.
They ask about Hollywood. That'd be what I'd ask about. I'm like, how's Hollywood? Is it everything I could imagine?
No, they like to ask about sports.
Oh.
They like to ask, I learned how to play cricket in Sri Lanka. That was a lot of fun. Cricket games can last days, Clint.
I don't have that kind of energy.
And did you know that in a cricket match, the goal is not to like strike out the batter or anything, that batter is a defense, because there's 3 sticks with some blocks, and the guy who throws, now listen here, I'm about to connect it. Okay. The guy who throws the ball is trying to knock the blocks off. Hence the term, knock your block off. Boom. Hey, like that.
I'll be honest with you. My mind's kind of blown, even though I tuned you out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was like, cricket. What's he talking about? A cell phone service.
It's like earlier when I was talking about something like you lost me at soccer.
That's right. Yeah.
You lost me at cricket.
You lost me. Cricket.
Tune in for this week's podcast where Clint and Travis take turns ignoring each other.
That's right.
The entire podcast.
As they talk about things like soccer teams getting lost in the Arctic and
in the Arctic.
Cricket.
Cricket.
Well, y'all listen. Hey, thanks for listening to our jibber jabber. Give us feedback, like, share the podcast. I hear my boy David Burns said he started downloading the podcast and listening to all the old ones, and and catching up on some of the new ones. So
Yeah, we're
to
very
get to this
entertained.
one, I shouted you out, homeboy, you long-haired hippie.
Gabe Sarasil, not within 50 yards.
Y'all have, and listen, one thing too, the people in Kentucky and Arkansas and all through that got hit by the tornado, prayers are with you. You know, if you want to help those people out, the Red Cross does magnificent work. Southern Baptist Disaster Relief is another place. They do the cooking for the Red Cross, and they also have chainsaw teams that are cutting trees up right now in those places. So, and there's lots of other people, there's lots of other organizations. But if if you're like me, you can't go help, maybe you can send some help that way financially, because there's a lot of people hurt, man. There's stories of that. I saw an interview with a guy that owned a candle factory, and they're still looking for some of his workers. There's still hope that some of them are still alive in there, and so they're holding out hope and for that. And that there was an Amazon distribution center that got hit, nursing homes, just some crazy tornadoes. Clint, have you ever been through a tornado?
I have not, but I was going to tell you, actually, Mom and Dad got it pretty hard over at their house. There was a quick storm, tore the roof off the neighbor's barn. Dad's got like 2 or 3 trees down. I spent Sunday afternoon over there filling my garage up with firewood.
Yeah.
Because he had to cut up a big oak, got over, but it was rough, but and they talk about that was just sudden. It just was boom, done. But I think they said it was on the ground for 200 plus miles. Yeah. Just ridiculous.
Yeah. There was one story on the news this morning that I saw. A guy in Arkansas, he got his family to the storm shelter, but his mom was bedridden in the house. And so he ran back in the house, threw himself over her with a king size mattress, and they still got thrown around in the room. His mom was okay, but just craziness, man. I was in Arkadelphia in '97 when that tornado went through that hit. It hit Gum Springs, Arkadelphia, went up to southeast Little Rock, and man, that was I was mad because it interrupted a Razorback basketball game. I was like, man, come on. Pat Bradley's shooting threes. I want to, y'all interrupted my game. And I go out and I'm looking out the window into the parking lot, and I see a 2x4 attached to a piece of tin going across over all the cars in the air. And I'm thinking, that's not normal. And so then my next thought is, why am I standing here in front of a big window? And so I went down the hall till it passed. And then me and some buddies got in a car, and we thought, we were all like, maybe it hit the campus, we won't have school, And we get over there, man, and like all the stupid giddiness we had of that just turned into something different, man, because next thing I know, we're at a 4-way stop, and each way we can go, there's trees over the road. And it's, some of my professors' houses, and, have trees on them. Then we get out and walk. I didn't have shoes on. We walk into downtown, and there was a section where there was like government subsidized housing, and there was nothing overhead level left. And then we started walking downtown, and man, downtown was all tore up. And I saw some of my friends who were football players. They were doing a youth weekend retreat thing where they were doing a scavenger hunt when the storm came in. And so they were downtown, and they had hid in like a bank or somewhere. Well, then they started helping, trying to find people. These people were screaming and stuck in different places. And I look up, and they're carrying a dead body out.
Oh my God.
And I was like, man, this is the real deal, you know. So used to, you know, at that time, you know, storms were kind of a, you know, hey, all right, let's see a tornado. But
Right.
my mind changed on that, man, big time. So anytime that happens, it's definitely something that, you know, even though I got out, nothing on that, you know, but just seeing the destruction and seeing what the people of that town of Arkadelphia went through to come back from that makes me feel for all these people. So anyway, Clint, dude, as always, it's awesome hanging out with you.
Man, you brought us down on a real downer, buddy.
I did, didn't I?
You
But
did.
hey, get back up.
Hey, but no, you're right. Really, my thoughts are out to everybody. I know what it's like to lose everything right before the holidays. It's rough. It sucks. So my thoughts really are.
Yeah.
But
man, it's a good week. Let's get feedback, folks. Let us know about the stand-up. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Let us know what's something we've done in the past you think we need to bring back. What's something we need to do different? What's something tell us. We may not change it, but
yeah,
you can
we're
tell
gonna
us
do what we
anyway.
want. Because trust me, football season was easy podcasting. The Razorbacks would play, we'd talk about it. Easy, done.
Yeah, that's right.
Done.
Boom.
We've actually got to try now.
Yeah, we got to think.
We got to put in effort.
That's right. Well,
This
Clint,
we do it for you.
that's right. We do it because we care.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hard thing. Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all. Hometown Roofing.
Get your roof.
Michelle. Big C.
Feminist propaganda.
I'm Bigger T. And you know what? We are signing off.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come.